Part two of the cookout. Chase, I have to give it to you. I gotta respect you. You didn't apologize. You stood on business, and I ain't mad at you. Candace, you stood on business, and I ain't mad at you. But you and Amber ain't gonna be friends no more. Cause as long as you are married to Chase, she ain't never gonna be friends with you, and that's just it on that. Because even though you two are cool, she ain't never gonna be cool with your husband, which means it's gonna be a problem. Candace, if you don't cuss your husband out, well, I ain't gonna say cuss your husband out because that would be absolutely terrible. That's the old version of me. The old version of me would be cussing him out from here to Timbuktu. I wouldn't even be speaking to you. But Candace, you need to let your husband know he was wrong. He was absolutely wrong, and you the one that need to be mad because he put you in the line of fire. This is what your husband did. And the fact that she was trying to get him to apologize and he was like, I got this. And she sat back. The point is, Candace, he's never going to apologize to Amber. He stands on what he did. Him and Anthony are friends. And it goes right back to what I said. He doesn't have to apologize to Amber. Him and Amber are not friends. Him and Anthony are. His loyalty is going to be to Anthony regardless. And but like he told her, I have told him that he was wrong. No differently than Dalen. Both all of them, Shania, Chase, and Dalen all told Anthony he was wrong. They all have told him he was wrong. But at the end of the day, that is still a homeboy. And it is loyalty before anything else. I cannot be mad about somebody that is not friends with me, that ain't never been friends with me. Chase and Amber have never hung out. He didn't even meet her until Anthony. So I can't sit up here and get mad because your homeboys didn't tell me about what you did. Their loyalty is always going to be with their homeboy. That's just it on that. Now, Dalen has switched sides because of the fact he don't like Shayla. He ain't never going to like Shayla. But as for Piari is in love with Anthony, and she is just trying to stay in his good graces. So if things don't work out between him and Shayla, they can get back together. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's see how long it's going to be before J-Mo find out about Ernestine and Trey. Y'all is playing Russian roulette. Y'all is in that chicken coop. Why in the world would you want to have sex in a chicken coop? Is there a towel on there? Is there some type of blanket? Do you know how many infections you can get? You in a chicken coop with a bunch of mess that's in there. Girl, you don't have no shame. None. Girl, you have no shame. But yet you gonna sit there and act like you holy and thou. But yet and still, Nadia and Jay have never been in no chicken coop. Nadia and Jay are doing things the right way based upon God at the end of the day. Y'all marriage is over. Y'all signed paperwork. So Jay has every right to be and do whatever it is that he wants to do. Why? Because y'all signed divorce papers. And it's time for you to move on and stop calling that man your husband. He is not your husband. But at the end of the day, I was waiting because Flawless was there. Where was Mama Brenda at? Yo, why Mama Brenda won't there? We needed Mama Brenda to feel there. See, I needed Phil there for this. Phil would have kept everybody laughing. But we needed Mama Brenda. We needed some spiritual healing because Ernestine Mama was not going to be able to deal with all these crazy lunatics. We needed Mama Brenda. We needed a come with Jesus moment because it was just too much going on. But I give Amber credit. She stayed on business. And the one thing about Amber, she don't, what's the word I'm looking for? She is straight with no chaser, point blank period. I ain't mad at it, but again, Amber, that man has no loyalty to you. The only person that had loyalty to you was Candace. And you and Candace squashed the situation. But Candace, this is what you're going to be dealing with. And if anything, I would have been mad at Amanda. You should have stuck to your gut. You should have stayed home. You shouldn't have came out there at the end of the day. And then Ernestine tried to insert herself in that situation. Girl, now that Candace got something on you, you can't insert yourself in nothing. Okay? Nothing. Nothing at all. You can't even do that. But yeah, it would have been crazy if Amber would have invited Kelvin. That would have been interesting. Why you didn't have her bring Kelvin and Glow? That way Glow could have met, Ernestine and Yeah, this would have been good. But no, I'm kind of glad. No, because if Kelvin was there, she wouldn't have done all that. She wouldn't have done all of that at all. But Amber, that's not your husband. Please, can we get this divorce? Wayne, we want the divorce. Us over here, my peoples. There's a lot of us. We don't want it. We don't want these two back together. We want it over. We want a divorce. Can we please get him to sign a divorce? Can we get him to his attorney? We need a scene with his attorney asking him, are you going to sign these papers? We need Shayla to say, are you going to sign these papers? We need Amber to say, are you going to sign these papers? We need Brittany to say, look, we need to go ahead on and schedule a time so we can get Anthony to sign these papers. See, I need Brittany to go into the office with his attorney so they can have a conversation. See, we need the two attorneys to have a conversation here. We need Brittany and we need his new attorney. We need Anthony's attorney and Brittany to have a conversation to discuss when we're going to court. I need Brittany to go into those financials to find out about that apartment. I need all of that. I need every single bit of that. We need a courtroom. We need a court case. We need a judge. We need a mentor. That is what we need. These counseling sessions got to go. But Amber, the fact that it went over your head, what Chase said about his assets, that right there should have been ding, 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 ding. He was only trying to get back with you to save his assets. But you know who's gonna put two and two together? Brittany. Because as soon as she tells Brittany what Chase said about his finances, Brittany gonna be like, I don't know what you mad at Chase for. Chase just gave you a smoking gun. And we gonna use it. So the only reason he coming back to you is because he don't want to lose his assets. The only reason he trying to stay with Shayla is because he don't want to pay child support. Well. So yeah, I can't wait for the rest of the cookout because it's gonna be epic. Because I got a feeling J-Mo gonna find out. But somebody wrote something that I found quite fascinating. Melissa gonna find out about Sonny and Mike, and J-Mo gonna find out about Ernestine and Trey. Them two getting back together. And Sonny, you stupid because you say you moving on from Mike, but yet here you are back in that man's face. You cannot leave that man alone for nothing. Just leave the other dude alone. Girl, just leave him alone and just continue to be the person that Mike is going to be running all over. Girl, you are a seat filler. He going to be running all over you. Because it's the same thing that he did to Dom. The same thing he did to Dom is what he going to do to you. Because at the end of the day, the whole reason that Dom ended up messing around with Estebar was because Mike was not basically giving her what she wanted. Dominique wanted a baby. If that situation with that young guy would have never happened, with him pretending to be Mike's son, would have never happened, Dominique and Mike would have been fine. But yeah. And Terry, you got Libby. Why are you sitting up here trying to come between Jocelyn and Sean? And Sean, you know you want Sonny. This gonna be interesting. And Momo, you know you don't want Ralphie. You want D. And I wonder what D gonna do to try to get Momo back. I wonder what he gonna do. And Tamara, we need you back because we need you to tell Ralphie and D what's going on. Matter of fact, I need that girl to tell Nichelle so Nichelle can tell both of them. And when are we gonna see Nichelle and Ralphie? Because we kind of waiting on that too. We would like to see Nichelle and Ralphie. That's what we would like to see. But anyway, at the end of the day, this cookout has been very interesting. And J-Mo just been sitting there chilling the whole entire time. But J-Mo did step up when it came to Jay, but you didn't step up when it came to Chase. Interesting. But yeah, Trey stood up, but you didn't peep that change. You were sitting right there when Trey was the one that stepped up when it came to Ernestine and Chase and Candace. It was you. But yet, J-Mo sat right there. Boy, and somebody said something that got my attention. I have a feeling that Melissa gonna end up going to Punta Cana. I think she gonna end up going, and I think she gonna catch Mike and Sonny together. And she gonna end up leaving Mike completely alone. That's why I said her and J-Mo gonna end up getting back together. But yeah. Well, I think that's the end of the 4th of July. So y'all have a great